You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Sister Wives fans, we are going to talk about ex-wife Janelle Brown putting Kody Brown to shame because she did something he always dreamed of doing, and she did it faster, better, and in a way that he cannot touch. Let's explore how she managed to do that, but first, please click subscribe if you haven't already. So in case you didn't know, Janelle was there from the start when Kody Brown first came up with his Coyote Pass dream, and Janelle saw it all the way through to the fiasco that it ultimately turned into. So Kody initially proposed one big old house where Janelle, Meri, Robyn, and Christine would each kind of have their own wing, basically like a really big apartment in this larger structure for each wife, all part in that same building. And that met with a hard no when Kody suggested it. Most passionately, the no came from Christine, who of course was the first of the sister wives to walk out on Kody. And then he planned a little compound sort of setup where each wife would have their own home, a little village of their own in Arizona. But so far, the only person that ever actually lived out on that property was Janelle Brown. After Kody and the wives bought the land, it pretty much sat dormant for years. There was an occasional picnic on the land. We saw Kody splashing around in a muddy pond in his undies. So for the most part, it was totally unoccupied until Janelle decided to live out there on an RV over the summer. And other than that, it sat there with Kody's dream unfulfilled. He had pictured a land filled with just his wives and kids. So back then, Janelle had envisioned this spot on Coyote Pass where her house and greenhouses would go, where she'd put her garden, but it never manifested. So Kody's dream, which also became Janelle's dream, was a big bust on that Coyote Pass land. But today, with Kody in her rearview mirror, Janelle is making it happen all by herself. She is making her dream come true. So a few things changed, like the location. After splitting from Kody, Janelle has now moved cross country and she settled in North Carolina where she's purchased a farm. So what Kody thought he could do with 4 wives and a dozen kids with him failed, but Janelle has picked up the pieces and is wasting no time in making this dream her own. And she's loving every minute of it. Sister Wives fans found out the fate of Coyote Pass this week, by the way. It sold for $1.5 million. But the real shocker was what Kody did with the money they netted. He split the money equally among himself, Robyn, Janelle, and Meri. And yes, you may have noticed Christine isn't listed among those getting some of that Coyote Pass cash. That's because she swapped her share of the land to Kody and Robyn in exchange for her being able to keep every penny that she made from the sale of her Flagstaff home when she was hightailing it out of there, heading to Utah, where she's now happily living with her husband, David Woolley. So when it came to the sale of the property, there was only Kody, 2 of his sister wives' exes, and his 1 remaining spouse that got proceeds from the sale rather than a 5-way split. And fans actually seemed pretty stunned by the money being split up so evenly and equitably between Janelle, Meri, Kody, and Robyn. Based on the comments, viewers seemed pretty certain that Kody was going to try to make a grab and walk away with most of that money, but instead he did something quite unexpected and gave everybody a fair share. So Janelle had previously said that all her future plans in North Carolina were tied to the money that she expected to get from the Coyote Pass sale. And now it's gone through and she has wasted no time paving the road to the next chapter in her life. And this is one she's writing for herself without Kody. And Janelle is sharing her progress. After skipping out on Kody and packing and leaving Arizona, Janelle is putting her green thumb to work in North Carolina. But this time she is not growing vegetables. You may remember back when she was with Kody, she used to grow veggies in whatever garden she had wherever she lived before. But instead of food food, Janelle is going to be growing and selling flowers. That's her new gig, her new dream. After a lot of research, she found out this can be very lucrative. So after moving cross country to be closer to her daughter, Maddie Brown, we have found out that Janelle bought a farm. We've known that for a while. But not only is she planning to build her very own home there, but Kody's ex already got started on it. It's like sale came through, bam, she's ready to build. Janelle is constructing a 50-foot by 50-foot home. The math on that, by the way, should give her about 2,500 square feet of living space. And she already went out and staked it out on her land exactly where she wants it. Guess what? She's not going to be out there alone. Her daughter, Maddie, and her husband, Caleb, and their 4 kids are going to be living right across the street from Janelle in their own place they're building. So some Sister Wives fans think that this big plan puts Kody's former Coyote Pass dream to shame because Janelle is making a dream that they had both once shared come true for herself. She's making things happen that Kody never could. And Janelle has achieved this all for herself and all by herself for the first time ever. And all the time she's been with Kody and now apart from him, Janelle's going to have a house built the way she wants it, designed around her wants and needs. You know, back in the day, Kody also said he wanted to have big parcels of land out there in case any of the kids chose to come back to Flagstaff and live near them. So at one point he was envisioning his kids having houses there too. And even at the time, the grown Brown kids had zero interest. And that was before most of them got increasingly estranged from Kody, starting with the pandemic, culminating when his wives started walking out, you know, first Christine, then Janelle, finally Meri. But now Janelle is basically living that dream too, because it's going to be her daughter, Maddie, son-in-law Caleb, and grandkids, Axel, Evie, Josephine, and Amelia living across the street from her, pretty much like Kody was envisioning with the grown kids coming back. And another twist to the story is this. Although Christine was the first to bail and give up her Coyote Pass land, saying she didn't want anything to do with that dream, she is also rethinking the plan now that Kody's not in the mix. Christine recently said that she could see herself and David Woolley building a house somewhere on Janelle's land so they could stay out there for longer visits. Because if you remember, Mykelti Padron, Christine's daughter, also lives in North Carolina. It was Tony's dream job that brought them cross country, but now they're also thrilled to be close to Janelle, Maddie, and others in the family. So while Kody just couldn't get his wife or kids onto Coyote Pass with him, we're seeing Janelle keeping the dream alive and making it her own in her own way. And she is achieving much more with it than her ex-husband Kody ever did. And I think it'd be pretty interesting if Janelle ended up luring even more Brown family members out to her land in North Carolina. Can you imagine Kody's reaction? Maybe he should take a lesson from Janelle. If you want something bad enough, stop procrastinating and make it happen. And with Kody in her past, what's in her future is Janelle as a proud farmer-to-be, building her home on the property she plans to use for her flower business, which, by the way, she is partnering in with Maddie and Caleb. So it looks like Janelle did indeed put Kody to shame. She achieved everything he wanted to do, except she did it on the East Coast.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.